We're talking to Dr. Morton Young, and the topic is African American heritage on land and sea. And Dr. Young, during this last 5 or 6 minutes that we have before the end of the show today, let's give you an opportunity not only to continue the conversation that we had relative to the international slave trade, but also to include some additional information about some of the other things that you'd like to talk about. Let's pick it up from that point.
Very good. I would just like to point out, too, that there were 512 forts along the coast of West Africa. These forts and castles make for a very interesting study of that industry. How the caboceer and the slattee and the factor were in business to facilitate this human cargo.
Now these forts, for the benefit of our audience, these were sort of a holding pens.
Absolutely.
Where slaves gathered, and of course when the Europeans came in, they would go to these forts, and this is where they negotiated for the persons that they were able to carry back across.
The Portuguese word caboceer was used very commonly throughout the whole trade, and there were 3 levels of negotiators. The slattee, which was the indigenous trader, the local guy, who went out and sought people who had been vanquished in battle. Then there was the caboceer, who was the middleman, and then there was the factor, who ran the factory.
The factory, okay.
Yeah, they were forts and castles, but they really were factories, and you're right. This was a holding place. Many people considered it a life's experience to go through Goree, which is in Sierra Leone, and to walk through that passage and imagine what it must have been like for their forebears to have walked through that particular doorway, knowing that they were leaving behind forever thousands and thousands of years of their history. How the African American, the African family, whether in the Caribbean or the West Indies or whether in America, how it managed to be sustained through all of the barrage of brutality weighed against it is a study in human dignity and human endurance. The black family did persist. One of the reasons it persisted is because family to the African has been his all and all. It has been the medium for his ruling or governmental or political process. It has been the ties that binds families together. The family's just been everything. And so it is a testimony to the human spirit, how the African family has survived. And of course the African American Genealogical Society, like many other organizations and other genealogical societies, some of them have our goals, similar goals, have tried to perpetuate, to collect, to preserve, to inform, and to perpetuate this remarkable history.
And of course, I do understand that quite soon you're going to have a conference dealing with the African American Genealogical Society and et cetera. Why don't you, over the last 2.5 minutes that we have here, why don't you talk about that upcoming conference and give our audience some information relative to the date that you're going to have this conference and some of the topics that you think that you will cover at that particular time. Why don't you do that during the last 2 minutes that we have?
I'll be glad to. The 4th annual Black Family Heritage Conference will be held on October the 17th, 1998, from 9:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. on the main campus of Tennessee State University. The keynote speaker for the conference, who will make his presentation at the luncheon, will be Samuel P.A., who is a descendant of Singbe or Sinke P.A., the leader of the Amistad Revolt. We will have 4 workshops. One workshop will deal with 9 generations of the Moor family from West Tennessee.
Good.
Another one will deal with slave ships and their stories. There will be a youth workshop, one designed just for youth, which we'll discuss. The Slave is Hero.
Oh, good.
And we will look at Sinkay, at Babu, at Denmark-Gizi, and Nat Turner.
Good.
And then after the luncheon, there will be a workshop on how to do your genealogical research. The public is invited. It's a grand opportunity to come and see family heirlooms, to purchase African-American artifacts, and to discover, as I did at a couple of conferences, cousins I never knew existed.
Very good. You know, and Dr. Young, during this last 30 seconds that we have here, let me thank you for coming by and giving us that excellent information about the African-American experience. And I'm sure that October the 17th will be a very, very important day in the life of many people, and I'm sure the people will turn out to that conference. This is the fourth conference, or the fourth annual conference, you said.
Right.
And I'm sure that, and it will be located on the campus of Tennessee State University. And I'm sure that many people will turn out to this conference, as I know this previous conference that you had, a large number of people came by. So let me thank you during the last 5 seconds we have for coming by and giving us that information. And let me encourage you to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.